Welcome to another web capture. Sorry about the crappy delay. I just wanted to get this message out real quick about the things that have been going on lately, specifically tragedy. We've seen, I'm sure on your YouTube, you've seen thousands of videos that are like this talking about the recent shootings in both California, Moncton, and a couple of other cities that I don't have on top of the head. I apologize for that. It doesn't mean that they're any less of a tragedy. It just means that there have been quite a few recently, and that's weird. That's unusual. That's not quite what happens lately, but it has been happening lately, even here in Canada. Especially here in Canada, we've been dealing with the Moncton massacre, is what they're calling it, essentially. I'm not the type of people that like to name the killers, because that's exactly what they were wanting in the first place, was to become legendary and infamous. So I don't give names to these people. And yes, sadly, they were people, which probably makes it even worse, because it's a person that you would probably walk past daily and you would never know that they harbored feelings that would quite potentially make them a killer. That being said, God, that was the most paranoid thing I've ever said in my life. But there is a point to that paranoia. My point being is that I really hate to do this. The whole thing stems on common decency. There's something common in these threads of murders that we've been noticing that I have yet to see addressed. Most people like to focus on the mental health issue. They like to focus on the misogyny issue, which by in itself is a good issue to discuss, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video, because there are other sources that have done it to better justice, and not sources that have done it to piss poor shame and degraded it. And again, not naming names here for the latter. But this is obviously a long-stemming problem that we have glaring in our faces that we just don't seem to see, and that's because we don't care. We are so wrapped up in ourselves. We are so wrapped up in our little bubbles that we don't bother looking outward, and this is what we miss. We miss people getting so angry from whatever it is, be it abuse, be it mental illness, be it just an agenda, a quest for mortality, delusions of grandeur, whatever it is. These are all pleas for help. And one of the killers actually had a YouTube channel that actually had videos talking about how he needed help, and now they're using it as not only a means to keep his image immortal and plasterized everywhere, which I find absolutely disgusting, but they're missing the point. Essentially, it's basically it's a grassroots thing, and I hate that phrase because it's just so boring and banal and mundane, and everybody uses it, but it actually is true in this instance. Kids don't pick up guns and knives and cars to murder and kill people because they're bored. They do it because there's something wrong. And whether that wrongness is justified or not, in some cases it is, in most cases it is not. There is usually no excuse to take another life, especially one that's innocent and hasn't even touched you, which is the case in a lot of these. But what we're failing to miss is that we're so wrapped up in each other that we don't give a shit about anybody else until they actually pick up a gun and start killing people. And that is the most fucked up attitude I've ever seen in my life, that we don't care about people until they actually start killing other people. That is fucked up, and it's happening here in Canada, and it's happening here in the States, and it is happening everywhere else, and this is frankly ridiculous. We need to start opening up to each other. We need to start giving a shit to each other. And this sounds like a Buddhist crap bullshit video, but it's not. I don't mean it to be. I don't mean it to be a heal the world, make it a better place, hug a bitch, all that shit. I'm dead serious about this. We need to start looking outward. We need to start helping people more. And if you see someone asking for a plea of help online, don't just ignore them. Don't call them drama queens or kings. Don't call them whiny bitchy baby sluts, need fucking all that stuff that I see on people who need help, especially me. I get it all the time. I get, you're so fucking ugly, you're so fucking fat, you're so fucking stupid, you're a feminazi, you're a fucking idiot. All that stuff I get all the time when I happen to occasionally bare my soul to the internet. And of course I probably am asking for it because fucking internet, durr. But it really bothers me. I was bullied a lot, And this just brings to light all of that issue, all that bullshit I felt back then and still feel today, 30, like, God, 20 plus years later. And not everybody who was bullied, like I was, grows up as moderately mediocre as I do. A lot of them hang on to that pain, and some of them make beautiful art, and others make horrible decisions. But every single person has a right to be treated as a person, and I think that's what we're ignoring. I think that's what we're missing, and I think that's why there's such a recent influx of this stuff going on lately. The internet is a fabulous tool. We're more interconnected, but at the same time, I'm wondering if we're not. I'm wondering if that interconnectedness is a fallacy. It's just a mere cover. It's a facade. It's not real. And my video froze, and I know that was very unflattering, but that's okay. And I just think to blame the victim, to say that they need to man up or woman up, ovary or ball up and fight back, well, this is what happens. I hate to break it to you. This is what happens when victims fight back. Now, that's not being said that the killers that I'm discussing were all bully victims. I'm not saying that, but it is often the case. If you do look at a handful of these cases, on one hand you will see a common denominator, and that is usually bullying. And another additional one is mental illness. And our society stigmatizes mental illness over and over and over and over and over again. And it is nauseating and sickening and disgusting, and it makes us third-class citizens. Us! Yes! Us! I have a mental illness. But you guys knew that. Looking at my video, you can pretty much see it. But I don't have a solution for this. I just wanted to get it out there that it's not enough to say man up or woman up. It's not enough to say ignore them, they'll go away. It's not enough to say fight back and they'll stop bothering you. It's all bullshit. If you have nobody to help you fight back, if you have nobody watching you having to struggle daily to live in a fucking situation where you shouldn't have to face the things that you face on a daily basis, especially bullying, you can't ovary up. You can't. You are helpless. You are alone. You have no refuge. And it is no wonder that suicides have gone up. It's always one or the other. It's either massacre or self-murder. When are we going to get it in our heads that that's what it is, and that's what we need to address? We don't need to dissect these people. They all are pretty much asking for help. And when they go crazy, wrong wording, I apologize, and when they finally lose their patience, again, I apologize for that wording, when they lose their patience and then can't take it anymore, they either kill themselves or kill other people. Not all, again, this is pure generalization, because obviously not all bully victims become murderers. I'm not a murderer, unless you count flies. But, sorry, I always try to sneak in a bit of humor just to kind of cheer things up. But I don't know, I don't have much else to say about that. I'm almost at 10 minutes, so I just wanted to make that clear. That's my stance. There are coping mechanisms, i.e. hashtag #YesAllWomen, and that's a different video, which I will be making as soon as I can. Well, as soon as I can figure out a way to say it properly without going every 5 seconds. But yeah, that's it. We have to get back to the roots of this. We have to get back to the roots of the problem. Kids are being bullied, and nobody gives a shit. Kids are being told to defend themselves, when if they could, they would have done so a long time ago before it got to this. I know. I was bullied for 25 years. And I say that to present because, yes, I do still get insulted randomly and bullied randomly here on the internet as well as in real life. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, I've got to go. It's 10 minutes. I love you, lovies. You're an eggs dozen, or not an eggs dozen, you're a dozen eggs of lovely. And the rest of you who watch this, if you like it, click a thumb. If you hate it, click a thumb. If you like and want more, subscribe. And additionally, I still have that thing going on. If you have any questions about IBS, contact me either on the video previous or this one to ask questions, and I will make it a follow-up video. That's just there. So yeah, whatever. I'm sure you guys probably stopped watching by now. So I'll just show you my dress. And my wolf pendant. Oh, look at that rack. You know, these broad dresses aren't so bad. By the way, I know I'm ugly. Shut up.